Hi, I'm Jim Livesey, Professor of Film Video Special Effects at Houston Community College. Recently I had the opportunity to work with some Ikan LED lights, and they gave off such a clean, consistent light that I really wanted to use them in a couple special effects applications. And this is a glass that was shot on a green screen, or with a green background, of liquid being poured into a glass. And obviously we have transparent areas and we have the liquid stream itself. This is usually a very hard thing to shoot because of the reflective surfaces and the translucent material and just the way that it all goes together. But I ended up doing this very quickly and very easily using the Ikan LED light. As a matter of fact, I didn't shoot this on a green screen at all. What I did is I used a green gel and just shot it against a white wall, painted with light. It gave me a very clean, crisp light that was even and consistent and matched most green screens that I'd be working with. It didn't give me any glares or reflections. It didn't give me any bounce. So all these reflections that I'm pointing at here and here do not have the green tinge that you would normally get from shooting this on a traditional green screen. Now, working with glass is still a little difficult. So the first thing that you always want to do when doing something like this is go in and make a quick mask. Now, I took this because it's a still image into Photoshop and just cut out the shape of the glass. Didn't take me any time at all. Imported that in, then told it to use that as my track matte, and it's just an alpha matte. So that right there does a lot of my work for me. It ends up cutting everything out that isn't the glass. And then I did a green screen using key light, and that got rid of all that green but left in these nice spectral highlights. So a lot of work done very quickly. Let's go to the next section, and this section involves putting in our pour. Now, the reason why you're not seeing the glass being full but you see the pour is because I have another matte. What I'm using up here is the matte and a mask. I have the mask built so that I'm not having to worry about keying out any other shape. And I don't want the pour to duplicate where I already have, so I'm going to end up using that as an inverse alpha matte. So really, I'm only worrying about the small little section up here. So let's turn on the key light that I've already put on there, and we can see that that chroma keys that out. And we'll add in the glass. So now I have the pour and the glass combined again from the two different sections. All that's left at this point is going in here and compositing it. I've got 4 layers, and I bump it up to 8. An additional 2 layers for each of the glass and the pour. I'm doing this because I want to be using my blending modes. This is glass and it has a translucent nature. I want to give it a little bit more pop, so I'm duplicating all the layers, and I'm going in here, and on the base layer I'm using a hard light, and on the secondary layer I'm using an add, and this is giving it just a little bit more pop. And you can see the difference there between the glass and then the glass. And especially when this is composited over the background, it really makes it lighten up instead of being as dark as it could be. And then for the pour, it really makes it reflect the light. And it composites very nicely. We're seeing the background back there. And the reason I have 2 layers on my background is pretty simple. My original image was really flat. It was shot without any depth of field, and I wanted to have a little bit more depth of field. So I've got the primary image, which is in focus, and then I've got the secondary image, which I just went in here and did a mask with a gradient, a little bit of feathered edge, and then blurred so it kind of falls off. And this gives me a depth of field effect. So let's take a look at this, and we can see that this looks really nice. It turns out really nicely. The amazing part about this is that I shot it very quickly. I shot it in almost no time at all because I only had to worry about setting up 1 light for the background and 1 light on the glass. The background light, I didn't have to use a green screen or a green wall. I just used a colored gel, and my work ended up being easier because the equipment I used made it easy. Once again, I'm Jim Livesey, Professor of Film Video Special Effects at Houston Community College, and I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial.
Ikan. Features you need, prices you want.